They call me I want to just give you a very brief look at what's happening in the world in terms of payment for existing services and also other market-based instruments that are trying to link up existing services and improve livelihoods. So one of the first things I wanted to do is just go a little bit back to remind us what are ecosystem services. And it really is at the very basic, it's the benefits that people get from ecosystems. So these ecosystems will vary. It could be pristine mountain forests, it could be animals in the Andes, it could be wetlands, it could be improved smallholder agricultural systems. So it could be many different types of ecosystems, and from there you will be getting many types of benefits. Some of these benefits will be speaking too close. Some of these benefits will be very visible. We will all know them. There's water, there's food, there's timber. However, there are many of them that are invisible, and we treat them as free when we make our decisions, when we make the decisions in the farm, when the country makes the decisions in the way it allocates budgets to look after natural resources or not. However, they are invisible and free, but when they get damaged, the cost of this damage is very real, but it's very evident as well. This photo here is just from a little trip that we've just done with Porras from the ECOTRUST here in Uganda. We were visiting some areas near Hoima, and it was beautiful. Some bits were fantastic, bits of forest and everything, but the agricultural bits, most of them were anything but sustainable. However, there are many instruments and many issues, many things that you can do to try to change this situation. And payment for ecosystem services are one of these economic instruments that try to link those who benefit from the protection, from these ecosystem services, from pollination, from clear water, from carbon sequestration, better climate regulation, to those who are providing these ecosystem services. So that would be the people who are managing the land, who have some level of control of this land. So together with other instruments, this payment for ecosystem services, they could be working with regulation, they could be working with other types of offsets or other types of market-based or direct government systems. What they try to do is to change behavior or to prevent negative behavior. And as such, they are conditional on this change of behavior, and they are also expected to be additional to create an improvement in a given situation. There are many ongoing examples. There have been a lot of experimentation. I've been following the evolution of these market-based instruments for many years. Since 1995, I was in Costa Rica working in the background studies that went on at the time of all the discussions and all the negotiations. And actually, I have to tell you, there was not that many background studies. There was a lot of negotiation that eventually resulted in the creation of the payment for environmental services in Costa Rica. So we followed this program for many years. But after that, there have been many other cases. For example, at the international level, there are some initiatives. For example, there's some forms of bread class. There's many more people who know way more about bread than I do. But bread is a type of payment for ecosystem services in the sense that it's a transfer between countries to governments to try to tackle an environmental situation, and in this case, it's climate change. Now, the way that it is adapted from the government to the local levels, it will vary from country to country, but it is a form of payment for environmental services. The great thing about RED is that it has led to an amazing rethinking of all the forest governance issues that are affecting the management of our natural resources, and also understanding that forests alone cannot be solved. The problems of forest and fire cannot be solved unless we take into account all of these other issues like agriculture and the need for food and energy. It's still in many places there's a lot of pilot projects, a lot of feasibility studies. It is, as I would say, it is uncertain. Very nice. Not speaking closer now. Sorry. It is uncertain how it will be implemented at the local levels. At national level, I just wanted to highlight that there's several cases. There's Costa Rica, who was one of the first ones. It came it was created by law in 1995, implemented in 1997. It has had ups and downs, as you wouldn't imagine. So if you see it now, it looks like a very solid and very successful program, especially at linking financing. So they've been really good at finding different sources of finance. However, it has had a lot of doubts, and we learn a lot, especially for other countries. It's very important to learn from all of these evolutions. And it has been really good for conservation. I don't know if any of you have seen the maps of Costa Rica in the early 80s and the late 70s. There was a massive deforestation. There was only about 20% of the country with any form of forest left. We had national parks that were completely isolated units with this island. And the country as now has about 52% of forest cover in national parks, but also a huge amount in private lands. Not all of it has come from payment for environmental services, but they have been very good at linking up with many other initiatives to promote this. However, it's not a program that was designed in any way for social issues. So if we're talking about issues of development and poverty, we can learn about Costa Rica for financing, but not so much for these issues. We have another, there's also some examples that work at regional level, for example, creating trust funds. So it would be really interesting to see later on today that these trust funds are going to be implemented here in Uganda. I just wanted to talk to you really quickly about one trust fund that was created in Quito back in 2002. This project is only dealing with watershed services. The people in the city of Quito were very worried about the declining amounts of water, but also the quality of the water feeding into the city, a city that was growing, that was very large, and they were investing so much more money into feeding this water. So they decided to form this group and different water users. From many water users, private sector, the government, and some kind of groups, and also the donor groups, they created this trust fund, and it has been really good at generating long-term financing and for the participation of multiple groups. One of the key lessons that we have learned with this trust fund is that these funds have to be incredibly legally solid. And whoever manages these trust funds have to be really careful where they invest the money, what they are capitalizing. We've seen cases where the money is invested, and then we get these financial crashes, and the money disappears. So it is important to have also this business acumen. So the participation of the banking sector and the private sector to feed and to help the development of these projects is very important. At local level, there's also a whole load of projects that are evolving from the watershed, from watersheds. Sorry, should I put this for me as well, or just? Thank you. So there are many examples taking place in watersheds. From the point of view of watershed services, there's many really interesting cases that are working either with direct payments or with other forms of agreements between upstream and downstream groups. There are fantastic cases in Guatemala where companies are actually realizing that they really need to invest in the upper parts of the watershed if they are to ensure that they will have these water supplies in the future. So they are already investing quite a lot in improving conservation in the upper parts of the watershed, in Peru, in many of these countries. There is also carbon offsets, all the voluntary markets for carbon offsets that we're going to be seeing an incredible variety of experience later on and after myself. To access these markets, you do need to have standards to create that trust that you need to access these international markets and trade there. It has had ups and downs, many downs. But it seems that the core benefit was the projects that emphasize and that really working on core benefits, social and biodiversity and water, for example, are more likely to succeed in the future. My colleagues will be able to tell you more about that. Very quickly, I just want to finish off with a bit of the opportunities and bottlenecks that have emerged from the creation and emergence of these markets. So, for example, a major one in PES, smallholder payment system services, is that it is compatible. It can be compatible with landscape multi-agency development plans and with the green economy agenda. These are all very high in the agenda for governments. It's very important that through improved agriculture and sustainable agriculture, we can also address issues from the Sustainable Development Goals, especially with regards to food and energy security. Also, very important, we can focus on benefits that go beyond traditional farming. So we're still going to be doing activities that will provide coffee and will provide food, but also we are creating a new product that it is called an ecosystem service that may be able to generate additional fundings. It also has business sense. If you invest at the bottom of the value chain, it will create resilience. So this is very important for the business sector, for forestry groups, for coffee groups, for cocoa plantations. It does make sense to invest in protecting that base of the value chains. And also, it can create this new monitoring and evaluation that comes with the establishment of this project. It can also provide immediate feedback at the farm level, so farmers will have better access to support in the activities they are doing to be able to participate in these groups. So there are many benefits. However, there are many bottlenecks as well. So many projects have come and many projects have gone. Transaction costs are high, especially in smallholder agriculture. Projects that don't quite manage to take that into account from the beginning will find it really difficult and will struggle. So the key here is a lot of this is aggregation, and it's also finding robust science that will facilitate this aggregation and this monitoring using very low levels of transaction cost. In some cases, the design of this project may not address food security. So if the projects are not taken into account that there is poverty issues, they may or may assume that there will be labor available, or they may not be able to take into account what are the issues and the problems that are restricting people to access sustainable agriculture. Then you may have the danger of diverting people from doing food security activities into planting trees to satisfy the needs of reducing climate offsets for international companies. So we don't want this at all. We don't want to make unfair new sectors of the market. There's also in some cases, especially in community projects, there's a risk of elite capture that needs to be taken into account in the design of each of these projects. So you don't want to introduce projects that will actually increase the unbalance within the communities or even within the households. May intend to appropriate cash crops. So if we make carbon now a new cash crop, then the benefits will probably will be appropriated by this. There's a lot of uncertainty in the carbon price. There's a lot of low capacity for marketing for many of these projects. You might end up generating carbon offsets that you will never sell. And there need to be clear arrangements for benefit transfers back to the farmers who are the ones who are actually generating these. We have quite a lot of information. I need to stop now, so I will be very happy to talk to you. I'm going to be handing now the floor to Chris Stevenson. He is the chair of the executive director. Sorry, I'm the chair of Plan Vivo Foundation. He is the executive director of the Plan Vivo Foundation, and he will be talking about carbon offsets. Thank you very much.